What's up, everyone, and welcome to Creatively Enhanced, the show that is dedicated to visual artists and creative entrepreneurs. I'm your host and artist mastermind, Chantelle. And today, y'all, this is the very first episode. Woo! I'm just so excited, y'all. I have been sitting on this thing for years. God gave me a vision of doing Creatively Enhanced. I believe back in, I want to say, it fully came into fruition probably around 2019. But I just never acted on it. I prayed about it and I was like, you know what? It's time to go forth and do what I have to do. I have gained more experience as an artist, and let me tell you, I am excited that I get to share that with you, and the time has come. I get to share everything of my life, putting my life out there for you, putting out my art journey, letting you know step by step exactly what I did, how I did it, and how I've overcome fear and rejection and feeling like I'm not good enough, that artist block, that, oh, what do I do when I don't feel like doing it? I went through it all, and I'm still going through a lot of things, but why not share those things? Because, hey, why not? I might be able to assist you one day, right? Anyhow, so again, I'm Chantelle Fulce. I run and operate Chantelle Fulce Art, Open Concept Creations. Also, I used to have an interior design business. I'm certified in color theory, color psychology. I started my art journey officially, I believe it was around August of 2019 or so. And it's so crazy how I got started, actually. I know that a lot of people will sit back and go, how did you get started? How did you jump into an art career? How did you get from point A to point B? Well, let me tell you. It was actually December 2017. I went to an art exhibition. It's an art experience. It was called the Art of Ice Cream Experience, located in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's no longer being featured, by the way, but it was one of those seasonal exhibitions. And I just went there with my girls just to do something for my birthday. My birthday's in December. And while we were there, leaving the exhibit, a guy who was a worker there had stopped me. He began to speak to me about my life. And if you are faith-based, a lot of people would call that prophesying. He was spoken to my life and told me that you're called to be an artist. And at that time, y'all, I was like, an artist? No, I have no interest in doing art. I've always had an interest in beautiful things, very colorful things, a lot of pattern and design textures. I've always been interested in those things, including architecture, but never anything like, I'm gonna be an artist. Like, what is that? Like, do they even make money? The saying goes, the starving artist, right? But he was just like, no, you're meant to be an artist, and one day you're gonna be doing art and shows and creating different things, and you need to get your ideas out there before it's taken. And I'm like, okay. And my friends was there, they all witnessed with it, and they're like, yeah, we agree, you're so creative, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, one day I'm gonna do this thing. So that was December 2017, right? So fast forward, I had just had my twins. I had them in 2016, but they were still little, and I was going through postpartum depression like nobody's business, okay? Hence, when the guy told me that I would be an artist, I was like, no, I'm not going to be an artist. I ain't got time for that. I got twins. I'm, getting married. I'm trying to live my best life. And I was really stressed. I was going through a lot of depression. And if anybody tells you postpartum depression leaves after 2 or 3 months of having children, wrong, thumbs down. It lasted for me for a while. And I was just like, Lord, I need an outlet to release stress. And so let me tell y'all about the power of social media, right? So I'm sitting down. It's 2018 now. I totally forgot about what the gentleman told me at the Art of Ice Cream experience. And I'm scrolling on Instagram, just looking, because I'm like, what's going on, right? And it just so happened I seen this video of somebody pouring paint on a canvas, which they call acrylic pours or fluid art. And I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. It looks like the ocean and the waves. And my husband and I just got married on the ocean out in La Jolla. Shout out to California, because we love San Diego. But but yeah, I'm like, that is so cool. I love the waves. I love the movement of the art and the painting. I'm going to try to do that myself. So I went in my kitchen, grabbed some water, some dish soap, y'all, and went to I think it was a dollar store at the time, and bought like a little canvas panel and some dollar store paint. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I was like, I'm just gonna do it, mix it together like the video showed. And I created something that just came out completely watered down. The canvas panel folded up on me, and then the paint like ended up pulling off. It was a mess, y'all. But something happened in that moment for me where I was like, I'm really good at this, actually. I totally failed. I totally screwed up that painting, but I was like, oh well, I'm just gonna move on and try something else. Because what happened for me in that moment was I found peace. I found like, okay, this is me. Like, I was just so calm, and I didn't cry that day. I didn't feel like, oh, I'm being judged or anything. I was like, this is just so peaceful. I'm just gonna do it when the kids are taking a nap, and keep practicing, right? So that was probably July. I'm gonna say July. If I got the dates wrong, y'all, forgive me, because let me tell you, I don't remember fully. I just know I was going with the moment. I was present in the moment, and I was just going with the flow. But nonetheless, getting to the point, so it was my husband and I's 1-year anniversary coming up, and that's September. And I remember saying, oh, there's this art show that's coming out here, and I want to just apply just on a whimsical and see what happens. Because I posted my first painting online, the power of social media, and I got a lot of positive response, like way more response than I even expected. And so I applied for this art show, which was a group exhibition. And shout out to Chocolate and Art Show, yo, because the Chocolate and Art Show was my very first group exhibition. I had just started doing art, and 2 months later, I was in the exhibit, and I sold out all 5 or 6 of my paintings that was allowed to be exhibited. But yeah, I applied and I got accepted. And the process was super easy, which if you stick around, I'm going to actually tell you about how to get into art exhibitions. Okay, nonetheless, I'm getting ahead of myself. But I applied for the art show. I got accepted in, and then I, did the whole process, dropping off my work and everything. I got so much positive feedback from my acrylic pours at the show. I had friends and family that attended. I had strangers. People were buying my art, and it was a 2-day showing. And on both days, the first day I sold out. The second day I sold 1 or 2 of the pieces, but the rest sold online. Again, I'll get into the power of social media in the upcoming episode. Just stay tuned, stick with me. But it was just amazing to see something like that happen for me, for someone who doesn't have any experience in art. It came with a little trial and error, learning what paint to use, what canvases to use, but I did it. And that's what's important, is when you see something that feels good and you keep going and you stay consistent in that thing, like something is gonna birth out of that amazing, right? So yeah, ever since then, y'all, I've been rocking and rolling as an artist. I've had my ups and downs. I've had a lot of no's. I've had a lot of yeses. I've been featured in magazines, newspapers, online articles, through well-published, well-known, companies. Also, I went on to mentor other artists and help other artists with their art careers. I see them now and they're flourishing in their skill and craft just by giving them tools that I'm going to be sharing on this podcast and more. I went from acrylic pours to wanting something deeper with my artwork, and I began seeking out what else is out there. I started studying my history, studying other well-known artists of all cultures, and I said, I can do this. And I moved from acrylic pours to abstract expressionism. If you don't know what that is, Google it, but it's more on the Basquiat line. I believe I said his name right. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I just want you to know you can do whatever you set your mind to, whether it feels like it's something brand new, and you're scared, do it fearful, just do it. Just get out there and put yourself out there. Many opportunities opened up for me after that because the world needs art. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do art or you're a starving artist. No, the world needs art. What do you think? How do you think like houses and stuff are built? They're built from artists. There's a drafter out there drafting up an architectural plan right now. That takes skills, sketching and drawing. How do you think your clothing gets colors and patterns? That came from a pattern designer, an artist. A lot of these things come from artists. The artwork you find in your local retail stores, the artwork there came from an artist. They just got it produced through art licensing, so those are paid artists. They just mass produce the same painting over and over into different locations of the retail stores. We'll get into that as well in the podcast because I also have license and contracts with other companies also. Interior designers are heavily looking for art, quality art. And we'll talk about how to improve the quality of your work throughout this podcast also. So yeah, stick with me, y'all. Stick with me. I love talking about this. It's totally my passion if you haven't already noticed. I can go on and on and on about the many opportunities and possibilities there is, with art. Art isn't just painting on a canvas or a piece of paper or sketching. Art is deeper than that. Art is literally a role in every part of our lives, every aspect. And I can't wait to deep dive into every area of art, every connection that I have, from music to, clothing and fabrics, to pattern and wallpapers, just everything, art licensing, building an artist statement, an artist portfolio, every single thing you can think of about art. If you have any suggestions or things you specifically want to know, email me. My email is in the description of this podcast. Also, you can visit our website at www.creativelyenhanced.com. Or you can visit my social media account on Instagram, Creatively Enhanced, and send me a DM. Yo, what's up, Chantelle? I would love to know about A, B, and C. So I'm here for you if you guys ever need anything. And I'm just really happy to be able to, do my thing and share my expertise with the world. And these are all solely my opinions, but at the end of the day, meat off the bones. You take what you need or you eat it all and keep going on about your way, Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in to my first episode. And I plan to release probably once a week. So just stay tuned. This is season 1, episode 1 of Creatively Enhanced, with the introduction of myself and how I became an artist. Thanks for tuning in.